Hey, before you plug your RV into this, there's some hidden dangers you need to know about. Every year, RVers have to spend extra money on fixing their air conditioners, their converters, all the electrical items, simply because of a problem. And here's the problem. A lot of times it's not even seen. Hey, welcome to another one of Todd's 2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesday.
Brought to you by the National RV Training Academy.
Hey, before we get to the video, which I know this is the reason why you're here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything. Hit the subscribe button now. Thank you. Now, back to our Tech Tip Tuesday. I need you to know that whenever you take your RV over to an RV site, any RV site, you're borrowing someone else's electricity. What do I mean by that? So here I have a pedestal here, and we always assume that the pedestal is operating exactly fine, that it's wired correctly. I can tell you a lot of times it's not. Pedestals are wear items, right? We do have wiring inside. We have people using that, and these things become wear items. Now, when I say they are wear items, they wear down. Well, Murphy's Law says that they wear down when your RV's plugged into it. Well, when we have loose connections, wired incorrectly, or loose breakers, well, that ends up being a catastrophic event for your RV. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to address this visually, but also how to check it, say, with your multimeter and or even a surge protector to find out, is it wired correctly? So let's go over this. So here I have a standard pedestal here, and on this pedestal, you'll see that typically the RV style pedestal has 3 breakers. There's a 50 amp double pole breaker, and that's for our 50 amp service RVs. I have a 30 amp breaker, single leg for the 30 amp RV, and then of course they give us a 20 amp outlet. We're familiar with the 20 amp outlet. We have a 30 amp outlet, and here's the 50 amp outlet. Now, code coming from the NFPA and AUC, when it comes to wiring, there's a code where the hot leg comes in, where the neutral leg goes out, and of course where the ground is there to provide extra safety. So we'll start off with the 20 amp service. Now, I know you don't plug your RV typically into a 20 amp outlet, but at least we'll start there with the 3 prongs. In the RV space, we typically take ground and we put it in the upwards position. So ground is up. Now, it's not code, because code doesn't really tell you whether ground is up or down, but typically in an RV pedestal, ground is up. Now, round is ground. That's one way to remember it. So in that configuration, if we look at the 20 amp service, we're going to have a small slot and we're going to have a large slot. Now, the small slot is the hot leg and the large slot is the neutral leg. Hot leg, neutral. So just going over this, ground is up top. If ground is up, then the hot leg is on the left side, or the small slot, and then of course the large slot is your neutral. I'm going to go over what all that means here in just a second. If I switch over to the 30 amp outlet, it has the same thing. Ground is up, the left side is hot, and the right side is neutral. So left side is hot, right side is neutral. And of course with our 50 amp outlet, ground is up, left side is leg 1, hot, right side is leg 2, hot, and then down is our neutral. So down is neutral. So we're identifying our hot legs, our neutral, hot leg, neutral, hot leg, neutral. Okay, and then of course ground is always up top. Before we plug in, right, we want to make sure visually that we don't see burnouts. Okay, now whenever we connect, say, our power cord to our pedestal here, right, we have to have good connection. So the prongs on the power cord have to make a good connection inside here. If they're loose or broken or any way, when we're running current through there, there's not enough contact space. Well, if there's not enough contact space and too much demand, we get overheating. And overheating will show up with burn marks. If you ever see burn marks in the outlet, don't plug your RV into it. Whatever you paid for your RV, when you plug that in, I want you to understand that if it appears that it's already burned out, then it's obviously going to be loose. And it's only going to get worse for your RV, right? You're going to have to probably replace your power cord and or maybe some of your electronic components, especially if it's on the neutral side. Okay? So visually, we don't want to plug in if there's a burnout mark. Okay? Secondly, the breakers. When you go to turn on and turn off the breakers, it needs to be well seated. If you feel the breaker really moving quite a lot, well then apparently it doesn't seem to be seated correctly. Could also be a loose connection. Well, loose connection creates a lot of resistance, right? Creates brownouts, everything else to your RV. Not great. Okay, so want to make sure visually that we check that. Now, here's the thing. Just because it's visual doesn't mean it's wired correctly. Okay, now, A lot of us, we have something like this. Now, this is by different names. This is a surge guard, but it is a power management system. What it does is it's going to look at polarity. Now, I've already provided that for you. Left side is going to be hot, right side is going to be neutral if ground is up. So one of the things that your power management system does, sometimes called a surge protector, other times it's called a EMS, just different brands. This is a surge protector. All it does is check for surges and, of course, checks for polarity. This right here monitors not only for the voltage, but also for the amperage and for the hertz. If it doesn't like what it sees, it opens the contact, okay? These are, to me, what I would say the number one item when you're buying your RV. Buy one of these, different brands out there, buy one of these to protect your RV from bad voltage that's coming through here or bad connections or even miswiring. This will stop all of that. Here's the problem though, these can be fooled as well. Okay, so I want to show you with your multimeter how you can actually check this. Okay, a lot of us, I'm sure, we may or may not have a multimeter. It's something that you can go get. There's different brands out there. Since we're at the pedestal, we're going to put this on volts AC, which is the, on your dial, whatever you have, it's going to be the V, and then of course the sine wave. You'll see a little wave there. Okay, so I have this on. You're not really going to see this because, of course, obviously we're not connected. Okay, but to use your multimeter, what we want to do is make sure that the wiring in the pedestal is actually wired correctly. All right. A lot of times, and I hate to say this if you don't know this already, but most RV parks don't hire electricians to replace this, to go ahead and set up these new ones. They hire work campers. Okay. I'm not saying that work campers are inherently stupid, but a lot of times they may not know electrical. Right. So again, you're borrowing someone else's electricity, so we're going to verify before we plug our RV into it. So I take our multimeter, I've got it set to volts AC. I've got two prongs here. I've got a red prong and a black prong. Doesn't matter on volts AC. The way your multimeter works is it's going to read the potential of any type of power coming in on one of the prongs. The other prong has to touch the return path, which is either going to be neutral or ground. They both go back to the transformer. So what we'll simply do is, say on the 30 amp service, we'll plug in between left and right. The neat thing about your multimeter, let's say one prong is in and one prong is out. You'll never see voltage on your multimeter if you're only using one point of contact. You're going to get some strange numbers, but you'll never see 120. You may never see 0, right? If you don't have an auto 0 feature. So you have to use the second prong. Right? Now notice I'm not putting them in straight because I want to touch the metal. I want to touch the conductor. And when I touch the conductor, I should get a number. Okay? Now this doesn't teach me polarity because I went between left side and right side. It first tells me voltage. Now what I'm going to do, if I understand that the left side to you is going to be the hot leg and the right side is neutral, once I confirm I have 120 volts, I can take out the right side and then plug it into the ground. If I take out the right side, plug it into ground, leaving the left side in, and I still get the same 120, then I just verified that on the 30 amp service, this is wired correctly, right? One way to verify that is to switch back over to the right side and now touch ground, and I should get relatively around 0 volts. Okay, if I get 0 volts, then it's wired correctly. We just did a polarity check as well as a voltage check. This is my voltage check. The next two tests is my polarity. I'm verifying that I've got voltage on one of these two prongs. To verify that, I go up here. That validates that the left side is the hot side. And just to verify, one more time, I'll go between the right side and ground. And when I do that and I see 0 volts, then of course it's wired correctly. Okay, the same would take place over here, but this is a GFCI. You're going to find out the GFCI has plastic slides in here. It makes it harder for you to plug something in. So I can't really conduct the test with my multimeter on the GFCI outlet. I can, but I have to kind of wiggle it in there. So I'm going to go over to the 50 amp service. If you have a 50 amp service, remember left side and right side are hot. Down is neutral, up is ground. So if I go between the left side and down and I got 120 volts, right side and down 120 volts, between left side and right side I should get 240. Now, some parks, they may be 208, so I'm going to see some variant of 208. I want to make sure that I have a ground. Now, remember, my multimeter doesn't work if I only have one point of connection, right? If I do that, I have nothing. To verify that my ground is actually grounded, I can go in here, and if 120 volts appears again, then I know I've got a good ground. No voltage, go into ground, I have voltage. I just verified that my ground is connected all the way back to the transformer. Same thing for the neutral. No voltage like this. If I plug into the neutral, I'll see 120 volts. I just verified that my neutral goes all the way back to the transformer. Do the right side now, right? So go between here and ground, I got 120 volts, I just verified it. Between here and neutral, 120 volts. So you can use a multimeter to check to make sure that it's wired correctly. You can use this, sometimes it can get fooled, but the multimeter does give you at least a test that lets you know that this is wired correctly. The EMS, right? Here's what it's going to do for you. It's going to make sure that the voltage holds while it's under load. Okay, whenever you turn on your air conditioner, you have those heavy loads. This won't really check a loose connection where this does, right? Because a loose connection creates low pressure. Think of a water hose, right? And if you kink it, you drop the pressure and you drop the flow because there's a load, okay? Same thing here, right? I can't tell with my multimeter if I have a loose connection. I can check with my multimeter to see if it's wired correctly, but then I can use the EMS to make sure that I don't have a loose connection. So I hope that helps out, right? Two things that you should carry on your RV. It's an EMS and of course the multimeter, because when you go to a pedestal, remember that pedestal wasn't put in by you, it was put in by someone else, and it's best to check it. There's your tech tip.
All right, before you get to the bloopers, which is why you're here in the first place, the RV industry needs thousands of RV technicians and inspectors, and now is the perfect time to do that. If you want to make more money or have more control over your time, go ahead and click the link below. Or if you just want to learn how to fix your own RV, got something for you there. Head over to rvtechcourse.com and get started today.
Now for the reason that you're at the end of the video, roll the bloopers.
All in 2 minutes or less.
And here's the problem. A lot of times it's not even seen. That was good until I got to here. Hold on, I'm trying to get the hook here. Missed it by that much. All right, so what's this one?
Make up your own.
I'm going to. Hey, look at hey. You've already learned that your RV wasn't built correctly. You think a pedestal was built correctly? It's just one problem plugging into another problem. Hey, we don't want you. Who's we? Is this too close? What's up, YouTubers?
Who has the hardest job?
Marketing. Yeah, it's all about marketing.
Marketing. It's not marketing.